up for room. The ball dragging back and hitting the batsman on the hand. Good bit of work there from the wicketkeeper, ensuring no run is conceded. Good comeback here by Sawa after conceding a boundary. Seemed to be a little mid-pitch conference by the Qatar players. Some treatment is carried out Meet Pavsa by Kalidas right on top of things. All's well. Norman Sawa will continue from the Balestier Road end. Kuwait would look to accelerate at some point in time. At the same time, not lose wickets in a bundle. Keep a few intact to attack and accelerate towards the end as well. Oh, that's a brilliant bit of fielding. Inamul Haq saves a certain boundary there. The senior campaigner for Qatar, showing how it's done. Flings himself to the left. Wonderful to see. This is high-octane cricket, ladies and gentlemen. ICC T20 World Cup Qualifiers, Asia Finals. Every team giving it their absolute best, because it's only one qualifier and winner takes all. It's a wonderful opportunity to see high-quality T20 cricket. So come down to the Indian Association Oval, Balestier Road if you're free. It's going to be a lovely Friday afternoon and late morning now. Short, punched away, 4 runs wide of mid-on. Adnan Idris using the powerful bottom hand there to just jab that ball. Norman Sawa is being hit on both sides. He would want to rectify that. It's also been hit both straight and square. And on this occasion, Benz is back. Gets to Adnan Idris a bit quicker than he expected. Manages a single. At the end of 5 overs, Kuwait 49 for the loss of 1 wicket. Motoring along. Inamul Haq continues from the Serangoon Road end. Nepal, the other team on the park, practicing in the facilities here of the Singapore Cricket Association in the far corner. Also keep a keen eye on these two teams. Qatar defeating Nepal. And Nepal yesterday defeating Malaysia. And if Kuwait manages to get on the board today, it'll be a very interesting competition. Once again, Adnan Idris goes the aerial route. Fielder running back from mid-off. Unable to get to that in time. Kuwait collecting 2 runs in the process. Adnan Idris looks like a very aggressive batsman. It's going at it from the get-go. On this occasion, sweeps it. Wonderful bit of fielding there. And Norman Sawa. Short fine leg. Very swift to his left. A sharp return back to the wicket keeper. And on this occasion, Idris moves deep back into his crease and deposits in Amul Haq to deep mid-wicket boundary. Once again, too short. That was a real help yourself delivery. Idris did not disappoint. 4 runs. Kuwait moving along nicely. The batsmen both now look settled. They've got their frequencies synchronized, and those boundaries certainly helping ease the nerves. And he goes for another big bash. Manages an inside edge to short fine leg. Namal Haq, very subtle with his variations, very experienced campaigner. He'll be looking to collect another wicket. And Idris once again moves back and drills it between wide long on and the bowler for 4 runs. Namal Haq not impressed with the effort of the long on fielder. Certainly thinks that should have been stopped. I must say I agree. That was an awful attempt. Seemed to just jog behind that delivery. Qatar can ill afford such luxuries. As the Kuwait batsmen look to build on the pressure here. And on this occasion, it goes miles up in the air. Extra cover fielder in hot pursuit. Can't prevent the boundary. Adnan Idris cutting loose here at the IA Oval. Magnificent stroke play. 4 runs. Namal Haq expensive in that last over. At the end of the power play in 6 overs, Kuwait 63 for the loss of 1 wicket. They'll be very pleased with this start, and in particular this approach compared to their way against Malaysia. I think coach Pushpa Kumara would have given a good talking to the youngsters. Mudalige Pushpa Kumara, my countryman from Sri Lanka. Fiery character, very passionate about his cricket. Taimur Shajah, the Qatari skipper, brings himself on now from the Balestier Road end. He's been doing an excellent job with the ball and with the bat for Qatar in this tournament. These two teams very similar in DNA, both from the Middle East. They've been locking horns in a series just before coming here. Even though Qatar won it, I think the honours were shared equally. Meet Bavsa to face Taimur Shajah. That's a magnificent ball. Gets the googly on straight away. Taimur Shajah, wonderful youngster. Had an opportunity to have a chat with him. It's a very pleasant character. Could think about the game. Meet Bavsa decides to take a single. Adnan Idris decides it's too early in the morning to commit suicide. Sends him back. Once again, this is excellent bowling by the Qatar skipper. The line, the length, the pace at which he is bowling seems to have assessed the conditions very well. Any youngster looking at how to bowl a T20 encounter, this man is a good role model to watch. Leg spin. It's bowled 4 dot balls. pulled back the momentum that Adnan Idris and Kuwait built up in the last over. Meet Bavsa rechecking the guard. Manages to pick a single. Both these teams do not believe in running the first one hard. They love their boundary hitting. One aspect perhaps they could pay a bit more focus to is their running between the wickets. That would really complement their power game. Taimur Shah making some adjustments to his field. There's a long on, deep mid wicket, deep backward square leg and a short fine leg. And on the offside, it's backward point, cover, extra cover, sweep and a long off. And Adnan Idris decides he's going to spoil Taimur Shah's over by punting it over his head for a 6. Wonderful shot, nothing more than a little uppercut. 4 runs. Oh, I beg your pardon, 6. Got a bit unsighted there. Taimur Shah very unhappy. Bowled a brilliant over thus far. The last 2 deliveries conceding 7 runs. I think Meet Bavsa just needs to keep rotating the single and getting Adnan Idris on strike. Try not to do something too fancy, but if it's in his area, should be going at it himself. This is a wonderful platform here being built by Kuwait, going at 10 runs and over. The end of 7 overs, 70 for the loss of the solitary wicket for Richard Silva. The change in the bowling, the Serangoon Road end. Mohammad Nadeem, left-arm orthodox bowler. That was really a meat pie. Bavsa would be very unhappy he couldn't put it away, but nonetheless, Kuwait bank an extra wide down the leg side. This is intelligent batting. Meet Bavsa straight away. Takes a single. Gets Idris back on strike. It's been wonderful to see the way he has been batting. Extremely positive. Been willing to take the bowlers on and also take the aerial route. Let's see how he proceeds after the power play overs are done. Now we're in the 8th. And he's been targeting the short straight boundaries, which is very intelligent batting. That's a very good shot. Paddles it around the corner. 4 runs. Adnan Idris showing, apart from power, he's also got finesse. Lovely touch shot there. Just helped it around the corner. He's playing his angles beautifully here for Kuwait. He's cantered on to 30. Minimum fuss. Qatar would ideally like to see the back of this man. He's looking to be dangerous. 4 more. This time off an educated edge outside off stump. Kuwait wouldn't mind that one bit. Mohammad Nadeem on the other hand, heartbroken. See whether he can bounce back. First 2 deliveries going for boundaries behind the wicket. Inamul Haq, the short third man fielder. Tamur Shah, the captain, at short fine leg. They both seem a little bit too wide for my liking. Short third man certainly can come in a bit straighter on this track, where the short boundaries, the straight boundaries are quite short. And on this occasion, Idris drills one to sweep a cover for a single. Meet Bubs are back on strike. Change in the field for the left-hander. On his leg side, there's a long on, deep backward square leg, deep mid wicket, and a short fine leg. And on the offside, short third man, backward point, sweeper cover, extra cover, and a long off. Meet Bavza goes for an ambitious hoik. Lucky to get a top edge, even luckier to get a boundary. Nadeem absolutely unlucky on that occasion. Not the most intelligent bit of batting. Dan Idris having collected 2 boundaries already in this over. Meet Bavsa decided, I'll join him. At the end of 8 overs, Kuwait cantering along, 85 for the loss of 1 wicket. Tamur Shah continues from the Balestier Road end. The Qatar skipper be bowling to Idris. There's a long off, deep extra cover, an extra cover, backward point on the offside, long on, deep mid wicket, deep backward square, and a short fine leg on the onside. Idris tries to make room. Tamur Shah follows him. His excellent bowling. He bowled a very good first over apart from those 2 last deliveries. Idris puts the front foot away and bangs it over wide long on. 4 runs. I think these 2 teams have been playing each other in the recent past, so they should be aware of each other's ways, I suppose. On this occasion, Tamur Shah immediately adjusting the trajectory of that delivery. Well, Adnan Idris, he looks itching. Something's going to give here. Once again, short, drilled away to sweep a cover for a single. Dan Idris looks a powerful striker of the ball for Kuwait. Field changes over for the left-handed Meet Bavsa. The composition of the field remains the same. And that's a very good bit of innovative batting. Meet Bavsa gets low down on his knees, paddles it to deep fine leg for a couple of runs. On this occasion, it's going up in the air. Two fielders both coming in. The ball falls safely between them. Captain Tamur Sajad and Ibrahim Zairuddin. They're coming in from deep mid-wicket. And that's the end of the 9th over. The Kuwait 93 for the loss of 1 wicket. It's a very good platform being set here. Qatar would be looking ideally to get a wicket and perhaps 2 quick wickets to arrest this momentum. Kuwait, on the other hand, they'll be well pleased with the proceedings. Mohammad Nadeem continues from the Serangoon Road end to meet Bavza. Who tries an extremely ambitious shot. Still lucky to be there. That ball missing the timber by not much. I think he should just look to get a single and avoid all this fuss. Once again down the track, looking to smash the cover off the ball. Manages a single to long on in the process. But more importantly for Kuwait, the dangerous Adnan Idris is back on strike. I think for any youngster watching in a situation like this, when your partner is going really well, all you need to do is give the man the strike. Once again, drilled down to long on. T20 cricket really making it interesting for viewers and allowing this wonderful game to spread to more and more countries. Qatar and Kuwait today battling it out. It's a good bit of batting. Meet Bavsa straight away rotates the strike. There's a short third man. This time he seemed to have got the memo. He's a bit finer. Inamul Haq, very experienced cricketer. Would have judged the angles from the previous over. It's a good variation in pace. Mohammad Nadeem. That's a very good shot. Just paddled around the corner. Dries collects another single. Mohammad Nadeem bowling a very good over there. Kuwait 97 for the loss of 1 wicket at the end of the halfway mark. It's a wonderful platform now from which they can launch. They can even look to reach 200 if they do keep wickets in hand. It's a wonderful batting surface. Short straight boundaries and a lightning quick outfield. All ingredients That'll complement Kuwait's style of batting, or any style of batting for that matter. Taimur Sajjad and the Qatar contingent would like to keep it down to a minimum. As they won the toss and elected to field, be confident to chase this down as well. Grease comes down the wicket, finds his marker at long off. Be interesting to see how they play these overs from 10 to 15. It's one of the most crucial periods, 20 game. It'll set the narrative for a strong finish either way. Both these batsmen now set, picking the gaps with great ease. They should look to bat deep into this innings and launch Kuwait to an imposing target total. Taimur Sajjad, he wouldn't mind singles, bowling a very good line and length. Reese hits it away to deep mid wicket. Once again, single conceded. Seem to be a particular mould according to which Kuwait bats. Taimur Sajjad bowling that slightly wider, sliding it through a bit quicker. Result, a dot ball. And once again, helped away. Deep fine leg for 4 runs. Now the fact that they picked up many singles in that over makes that boundary really count. Kuwait in a position here to bat Qatar out of the game if they do bat sensibly and execute their finish. They'll put themselves in a very strong position. They're fielding and they're bowling in it. They'll need to back it up with a solid performance as well. It's again swept away to long leg, looking for 2. Gets it comfortably. Good running between the wickets. Ran the first one hard on that occasion. At the end of the 11th over, Kuwait 106 for the loss of 1 wicket. Seemed to be a little drink coming out to the Kuwaiti wicketkeeper, the Qatari wicketkeeper, while the Kuwaiti batsmen have a change of gloves. The umpire is right on top of things. Both these teams getting used to the conditions in Singapore. It's a different type of heat, very humid here. They seem to have adjusted beautifully, enjoying themselves in Singapore, one of the best destinations for events in the world. Whenever you see them down at the pool or at the shopping malls or at the eateries spotted around the hotel, both these teams in very high spirits. And a wonderful game is brewing here this morning. Kuwait impressive start here, and they build on it so strongly. Hammered down to long on. Idris, very effective, has his own approach, hits the ball extremely hard. Meet Bavsa, on the other hand, looks like a touch player. Very effective in hitting the gaps. Now this occasion goes big, goes high. It's a Qatari field underneath it. And he takes the catch expertly. Wonderfully judged catch out there in the outfield. Exactly what Meet Bavsa should not have done. Does not look like that's his natural game. Going for the power hit to deep mid wicket. And perishing in the process. The little break, the change in the gloves, seem to have disturbed the concentration of Meet Bavsa, but that's no excuse. Qatar getting an important breakthrough, stifling the momentum of Kuwait. They would look to build on this and come up with another quick strike again. Kuwait, on the other hand, they would like to build on this platform and continue. Bilal Tahir comes into the middle. Looks like a little shuffle in the batting lineup of Kuwait. They seem to be flexible to assess the situation and make the required changes, which is the way to play T20 cricket. This is wonderful to see. Both Qatar and Kuwait battling it out intensely. Neither team looking to give the other an inch. The batsman crossed while the ball was in the air. Idris is on strike. Backs away, guides it to backward point. Kamran Khan patrols backward point. Live wire there for Qatar. Brilliant fielder. Mohammad Dadim doing an excellent job. That's a very good shot. Idris getting down on one knee, paddling it over short fine leg. 4 runs. Not the ideal bit of fielding. Qatar not impressed with that. Norman Sawa looks like he's the culprit on this occasion. Once again Idris guiding the ball to backward point with the open face. Finds a single to sweep a cover. At the end of 12 overs, Kuwait 112 for the loss of 2 wickets. Already? How many balls? Adnan Idris scoring a wonderful half century of 29 balls. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Kuwait. Batsman, once he's set, carrying on. They'll be looking to him to continue even further. Looks like Hussain Chowdhury is coming on from the Balestier Road end. Bowled extremely well against Nepal and also against Singapore. Experienced campaigner. Bal Hussain Chowdhury. He'll be bowling to Adnan Idris on 50. Been an impressive knock thus far. Played shots all around the park. There's a short third man, backward point, sweeper cover, extra cover, long off, long on. Deep mid wicket, deep backward square, and a fine leg. Bal Chowdhury to Adnan Idris. Straight away, almost resulting in a caught and bowled. It's a very tricky bowler, Bal Chowdhury. There's plenty of variations. He's got good control over them. And on this occasion, Idris launches that delivery over long on for a 6 effortlessly. Adnan Idris playing a wonderful hand for Kuwait here. That was a high quality shot, nothing more than a little punch. And on this occasion he perishes. The wily Bal Chowdhury comes back with a sharp off cutter. Idris a bit casual on that occasion. Paced the prize, caught a backward point. Out for a well-made 56. Kuwait would have ideally liked him to kick on. Bal Chowdhury doing exactly what Qatar wanted. Getting rid of the in-form set batsman. This is turning out to be a wonderful game of cricket. Just when one side threatens to go away with it, the other side pulls them back. Looks like the captain, Mohammad Kashif, walking out into the centre. The half-centurion from the other day. Wonderful player. Chowdhury, despite getting hit for a 6, showing off his experience, coming back to take a wicket, and now a dot ball to follow that up. Another dot ball. This could be close. This is gone. This is gone. What an over this is turning out to be. Tamur Sajad, lightning quick. Excellent return to the keeper. And that's the end of that. Bilal Tahir perishes. Don't think there was a single on there. Two batsmen discussing about it now, but it's a bit too late. They decided to take on the arm of Tamur Sajad and paid the price. He's a brilliant fielder. Cut the angle, moving swiftly to his right. The wicketkeeper took off the bails in a flash. Kuwait losing 2 quick wickets. This is exactly what they did not need to do. This is exactly what the doctor ordered for Qatar. Bal Chowdhury. He's been instrumental in creating the situations with the pressure he's built, first by removing the informed player and then by bowling a few dot balls. Drew the mistake. Usman Wahid, the new batsman, the left-hander for Kuwait, joining his captain Kashif. Chowdhury in the middle of a very good over after the first ball being deposited for a 6. Short, punted away to deep mid-wicket for a single. Wahid straight away off the mark. Left-hander, the wicket-keeper batsman for Kuwait. Looks a stocky customer. Looks a player who likes to hit the ball hard. Mohammad Nadeem continues from the Serangoon Road end. Kuwait 119 for the loss of 4 wickets at the end of 13. The removal of Adnan Idris would certainly have a bearing on the final score here. Straight away down the track. Bang, 4 runs. Once again, the long off fielder making a meal of that search. Could have cut that one off. Mohammad Nadeem not impressed. That certainly was an ambitious shot, but he executed it really well, dancing down the track. Didn't quite middle it, but had enough power to go straight past long off for 4 runs. That long off fielder is far too wide. Yes, now it's been adjusted as we speak. With the short straight boundaries, they need to be cutting the angle, being much straighter. Usman there, working it away for a single. Running the first one hard, these two. Which is very good. Mohammad Kashif scored a wonderful half century the other day against Malaysia. Played a lone hand. Had he had some sort of support, he would have managed to give a much better fight or even win the game. Let's see how he goes today. That's a high quality shot. Down the wicket, inside out, 4 runs, 6, I beg your pardon. Hits the advertisement hoardings on the full. Mohammad Kashif is a quality player and he's putting it on display here. He's taking the attack to the bowler. It's a wonderful comeback. Mohammad Nadeem. There's attack and counter attack. What a wonderful game of T20 cricket we are witnessing here. It's been high octane cricket right throughout this ICC T20 World Cup Qualifier-Asia final. Nadeem to Kashif. It's very controlled batting. He knows he's got the singles and the 6 in this over already. Once again comes down the wicket, and on this occasion hits it to deep mid-wicket, almost. Looks like Malik there, deep mid-wicket, the big fast bowler. Kashif certainly living dangerously. Don't seem to mind it. At the end of 14 overs, Kuwait moves on to 131 for the loss of 4 wickets. Right, we move into the last 6 of what has been certainly an enthralling match. Hussain Chowdhury, if things go well, might be bowling 3 of those 6 overs. He's bowled an excellent first one. Let's see how Kuwait handles him. This time Kashif once again. Going aerial. Over extra cover, finds a single. They seem to not mind this one bit at all. In one more over, I'll need somebody to replace. Wonderful shot there. No run. Tamur Sajad. Pulled away once again to deep mid wicket. Kuwait also maintaining a left-right combination. Seems to be another tactical approach. Once again, Kashif punts it down to long on for a single. Chowdhury doing a wonderful job for Qatar here. Not giving much away. That's a very optimistic appeal. That would have missed another set of stumps. Chowdhury doesn't believe dying wandering. Puts in the appeal. This is a very good over. Uncle Yusuf. Tamur Sajad brings himself on from the Serangoon Road end. At the end of 15 overs, Kuwait 134 for the loss of 4 wickets. It'll be very interesting to see what kind of total they'll settle for from this point onwards. We're into the last 5. Well and truly the business end of the innings. The Kuwaiti captain out there, together with another stroke player, Usman Waheed, the left-handed wicketkeeper. They would certainly be looking to get at least 65 more runs in this remaining 5 overs. 185 would be pass score on this track, given the aggressive Qatari batting, the short straight boundaries and the lightning quick outfield. Tamur Sajad once again bowling it fast, flat and right outside off stump, not giving the batsman any chance to get underneath it. This time it was short, smashed away. Good bit of fielding there, keeps it to a single. Deep long leg. Kashif back on strike, the Kuwaiti skipper. Taimur Sajjad has got his angles well covered. Short fine leg, deep square leg, deep backward. That should be a wide. Looked wide, but the man that matters thinks it's not a wide. Taimur Sajjad seemed to have a very specific plan when bowling to the Kuwaiti skipper. Comes down the track and looks to hoik him. Manages a single to backward square leg. Backward point cover, sweeper cover, extra cover and a long off. On the offside, short fine leg, deep backward square leg, deep mid wicket and a long on the leg side. Usman Wahid comes down the track, looks for a big hit, only manages a single to deep mid wicket. This is very good bowling by Taimur Sajjad, giving nothing away, not allowing the batsman to get underneath the ball. This is very good T20 bowling. I feel he's bowling at the correct pace and trajectory on this track. That's the end of the 16th over. Very good one by the Qatar skipper. Not conceding any boundaries or big ones, just keeping the Kuwaiti batsman tied down to singles, which Qatar wouldn't mind at this stage. Four overs to go. Iqbal Chowdhury, if things go to plan, be bowling the 17th and the 19th. It's been a very accurate bowler, giving nothing away to the Kuwaiti batsman, so they would need to find a way to score. 180 at least would be required on this track. Smashed back past the bowler, front foot out of the way, bang, 4 runs. Usman Wahid, he threw the kitchen sink at that one. Very effective. And once again, even better. Threads the needle between long on and long off. Magnificent shot. Usman Wahid this time delivers a surgical strike. Prompts a conference between the wicket keeper and Iqbal Chowdhury. He's been bowling really well thus far. More than anything, that seems to just be to slow down the momentum. Chowdhury continues. This is very intelligent batting. Usman Wahid, after drilling 2 boundaries down the ground, takes a single and gives the strike back to his skipper. Over to you. See what Mohammad Kashif can do. Iqbal Chowdhury squarely in the firing line. Skipper Kashif goes one better. Front foot out of the way. Deposits Chowdhury in the pavilion. Magnificent hit. Kuwait really putting the foot down on the gas now. Bal Chowdhury being taken to the cleaners. This is wonderful batting. Amazing stroke play by the Kuwaiti batsman. And punches a single to long off. "15 runs thus far off the over." Bal Chowdhury would not be pleased with that. It's a very controlling bowler. That looks close. By Kali thinks otherwise. It's not out. End of the over. Very good over for Kuwait there. Under the 17th, Kuwait 155 for the loss of 4 wickets. Can wait, we cross over. To take you through to the end of the game, be my colleague Arjun Menon. Who's currently preoccupied with housekeeping duties.
Well, good morning to all the viewers. Just following up where Jamal left off. Kuwait with quite a big score on the board at the moment with 156 for 4 of 17.1 overs. Qatar have to do something in the next 3 overs to try and curtail these runs, because anything above 185 here would mean a big chase for Qatar. Well fielded there. An extra cover. Kuwaitis seem to be right on top here. Usman Waheed and Mohammad Kashif, the captain. Kashif on 19 of 13 balls. Usman Waheed 20 of 14. Nauman Sharwar continuing with his third ball of his second over. Another big swing, and at this stage, that's all Kuwait have to do with wickets in hand, and try and get that score up as high as they can before Qatar come into chase total. played off his feet down to deep mid wicket, trying to go for the 2, and they are going for the 2. Bit of a fumble, but the ball gets in. 2 very crucial runs at this point. Brings Kuwait to 164. The skipper Kashif's had a really good series so far. Very good batsman. And that's hit really, really high. Doesn't look like it's going to clear, and it actually has cleared. Just over the head of long on. And that's 6. Qataris looked really flat today. Must be the fact that Kuwait had got away from them very early in this innings. And the bigger scheme of things, 166 for 4, with another 2 overs to bowl after this. And once again, has found the gap there beautifully between the boundary rider and long off. It's another 4. 10 runs of last 2 balls. A bit of a shrug of the shoulders by the bowler to his captain. 174. That brings Mohammad Kashif to 31 of 16 balls. 3 sixes. Bit of a conference between the captain and the keeper. They have to try and damage controls. Next 2 overs, 170 on this ground, although chaseable, is still a bit of an ask. Iqbal Hussain Chowdhury in here for the 19th. To bowl 19th over. Just down to long on, not much damage done there, just a 1 run. Big hoik there by Usman Wahid. That'll be a wide ball. Pressure telling here on the Qatari bowlers, trying to keep Mohammad Kashif quiet. Sitting on 31 of 16 balls with 1 4 and 3 sixes. Has found his range. And he goes again. You can't keep him quiet. It's another 6. And brings him to 37 of 17 balls. Well fielded. Seeing that Kashif has found his range. It'll take a lot for a bowler to get behind those, and he's done well there, Chowdhury. Head down as he goes back to his mark. And this might go again over the long off. It's another 6. Takes him to incredible 5 sixes in his innings. There's no holding back here for Kashif. And hits that down, just finds the fielder, and he's on his way. Well played there, Mama Kashif, 43 of 19 balls, 5 sixes and 1 4. And that's taken the Kuwait to 184 for 5. And still another over the ball after this. You would think the Kuwait would try and look for the 200 mark. These two Gulf nations must have had long history of playing against each other. In fact, I think Kuwait was actually in Qatar before this for pre-warm-up games. So they wouldn't be strangers to each other. Last ball for Chowdhury. Just down to long on, trying to go for the second, but well fielded there. And takes them to 185 for 5. Last over now, and it looks like Kuwait must have a target in mind of trying to get 200 on the board, which would be a really good score at this ground, considering that the straight boundary is quite short. And the wicket's looking to be a bit of a belter today. Good to have the sun back out after 2 days of overcast conditions. So it'll be Noman Sawar to finish off the bowling for Qatar. It's bowled 2 overs for 25 runs. It's not been very economical. Chowdhury finished off with 4 for 42. 4 overs and 42 runs. 2 wickets to his name though. So what can Sawa do here to try and keep the score under 200? New batsman is Shiraz Khan. And that's just really loose delivery, down leg. Couldn't have made it more easy for Shiraz. Just flicked it off his pads, and that's 4 runs down to fine leg. With the fine leg fielder in the boundary, within the 30-yard circle. So not the best ball to start off with. His first ball. 5 more to go. 189 for 5. And signs look ominous for Kuwait. Getting 200. Hit that down to deep mid wicket. Fielded without much concern. Just a 1 run. Gets Usman Waheed on strike, who's now 22 of 16 balls. So what can the little stocky left-hander do here to try to hit that magical 200? 10 more runs needed to hit 200. 4 balls to go. That's a bit of reshuffling of the field here. And Sawar in. And he's launched that. That is a huge 6, and that's gone off to between long on and deep mid wicket for another 6. Takes them to 196 for 5. And Waheed to 28 of just 17 balls. Strike rate of 164. Pair of Kashif and Usman Waheed done well before Kashif was dismissed to get Kuwait to this point. Full toss. Gets past. Looks like it got past. Under the waist. Keep patting it. You get a single though as a bye. The Qataris do look like flat. Look really flat in the field. Crestfallen, to be honest. Matter of just wanting to finish off this bowling and see what they can do with the bat. But this will be a big task. He's bowled him. Big swing across the line by Shiraz Khan. Nowhere close. So Shiraz Khan departs for 6 of just 3 balls. Doesn't really matter at this point. Anybody that comes in is just going to throw the bat. 3 runs needed for the 200. 197 for 6. Naman Sawar with his last ball. Will they get to the 200? So it just piques the interest here for the last ball. I think many people wondering if Qatar can get 200. All's needed is 4. 3 runs required to get 200. I'm sure Aslam is thinking about that. He's not going to die wondering. Probably have a swing of the bat. Here we go. And he's hit that into deep mid-wicket, and great catch taken down there by deep mid-wicket, and they don't get to 200. But having said that, at 197 for 7, that is a very, very big score, and probably a very defendable score for Kuwait. And Qatar have a big task in their hands to try and chase this down. We'll join you after the innings break, and good morning to all of you. Welcome back to Qatar versus Kuwait at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Asia Region Final, hosted in Singapore. Ilyas Ahmed opening the bowling, the left armour. First ball was a wide down leg, and second ball a dot ball. So Qatar have a big task in their hands here, trying to chase down the score. Very formidable total to defend. And that's a really good shot there by Faisal Javed. Just picked that off slightly down leg. Shot the length, plays a really good pull shot into an unprotected area. Fine leg or not, that was always going to go for 4. So not the best of balls bowled there by Ilyas Ahmed. Left armour probably needs to looking at that 5th stump line coming in. Then again, with scoreboard pressure for Kuwait, they can probably have a lapse or 2. Deep breath by Ilyas as he makes his way in for his 4th ball. And that's another great shot. Probably bowling a bit too straight, and Faisal just working that off his hips. Really, really good shot, strong wrists. And that's another 4. And that takes Qatar to 9 for no loss of just 3 balls. Looking at the offside dominant field, Ilyas probably has to think about getting that just a bit wider and possibly that actually was a 6, so signal's been changed to 6, and that's now 11 off for no loss. What can Ilyas do here now? Once again, bit too straight, and he's worked that off his legs. So you feel that Ilyas probably has to understand that that's a really strong area of Faisal's. There's 3 balls down leg or straight that he's dispatched, and the 2 balls earlier, although one was wide and the other just missing the outside edge, was outside off in the 5th stump line we were talking about. So 15 for no loss, Qatar. Ilyas in again, and that is the line that he has to look for, forcing Faisal to probably reach out to try and play that through a very protected area in covers and within 30-yard circle. Can't bring those wrists into play or the bottom hand. So very important how Kuwait use the new ball. And so far Ilyas conceding 15 runs in his first over. Probably only has bowled 2 balls where you like them to be. It's a really good shot. Bit too full this time. And Faisal just not holding back again, and brings them to 19. Faisal 18 of just 6 balls with 3 4s and a 6. Good start to the chase by Qatar. 19 of the first over. You think that the next 5 overs in the power play is going to give an indication where Qatar will stand, how much scoreboard pressure they can take off. Don't think the captain's too pleased with how his first over has gone from Ilyas Ahmed. Just 19 runs of that over. Kuwait can't be too complacent at this point. and that first over has not started things off very well. Anything can happen. T20 game. Game is changed off an over, off a ball. So let's see how Kuwait respond to this. Spin coming on, and that's wide down the leg. It's just lack of discipline here. I mean, you've got to understand that, yeah, as much as there's 198 on the board, you've got to keep your first 6 overs and look for damage control, because that's when any team's going to try and take advantage. And bowling your first ball down leg wide and 4 runs, not the best start. An appeal there for LBW. Umpire Buddy not interested. Better bowled, taking the pace off, just making things a bit harder there for Kamran Khan, who's only facing second ball now, to try and get any pace to work off and try and launch it over the 30-yard. And there you go, a bit across the line, but no man's land. That's it, and that's 4 runs. Don't think he hit that too well. Looked like he was going for the long on region, and that actually ended up going to covers. They all count. And it's the captain himself who's come on to bowl, so 3 run, 9 runs. Well fielded there. Not the best of balls. Very, very lucky that it found a square leg. And once again, probably not playing it the best, but he still finds the boundary. Doesn't look like he's hitting it where he intends to, but successful so far. So that's 13 runs of the over. And the skipper here has to try and curtail his runs, because 32 of 2 overs, that's a great start to Qatar's chase, and puts them in with a chance. Probably going down leg, hits him in the full, but I think umpire Buddy reckons it goes going down leg. And that is the over. And Qatar, great start. 32 of 2 overs for no loss. One would think that if Qatar can probably hit the 60-run mark in the first 6, that they will put themselves in a very good position to chase the score down. They have batsmen who can play. Qatar very well renowned for big hitting. They showed against Nepal, beg your pardon. Although there was not much on the scoreboard then, but when it's time to take on the bowlers, they are very capable. And the man that's asking for his cap at the moment, Faisal, probably one of the best doing that for Qatar. So looks like Ilyas is done after his first over going for 19 runs. Brings on Jandu Hamoud, slow left arm bowler, which probably is not a bad option at this point. Just try and take the pace off, and that's probably the safest place you could hit a ball that's straight back over the bowler's head. That's 6 runs. Don't think that was a bad delivery, but just a really, really good shot there by Faisal. Faisal now sitting on 24 for just 7 balls, 3 fours, 2 sixes. Strike rate 342. And wow, that is just an amazing catch. Faisal will be disgusted because of all the shots. He gets a full toss, rank full toss, hits it straight. Well, not really straight, but took a really good catch to get rid of him. Probably didn't hit as hard as he wanted to, but a fantastic catch there. I mean, diving to his right, mid-air, parallel to ground. And it's half chances like this that can turn a game. And one would think if Faisal had stuck around for the next 4 or 5 overs, that Qatar, they could have really taken off a big chunk of the score as they head into the non-power play overs. But having said that, Jandu Hamoud has done the job for his skipper, and that was just a fantastic catch there by Shiraz Khan. And Kuwait now can probably really happy to see the back of Faisal. And next batsman in is Awais Malik. You know? Alright. Beg your pardon, that's the captain, Imam ul Haq. Not to be confused by the current Pakistani player, although both of them are countrymen. Former first-class player from Pakistan himself, Imam ul Haq. Batted really well against Nepal in the chase. Very, very mature innings. While the rest were trying to hit out, he just used his strengths and once again playing that shot so well off his feet, which he did against Nepal as well. Just a very, very cool, calm, collected, very experienced campaigner, Imam ul Haq. And just gives the Qatari batting lineup a bit of composure, and probably will play anchor at this point as the rest try and hit out. He'll just try and get the singles and dispatch the balls that he feels can put away. It's well bowled, probably pitching on leg stump, leg by, and that goes for 4. Really, really quick outfield. Sunny day today. 2 overcast days prior. The field looks greener after the rain, which but it's still not slowed down this outfield. 43 for 1. 2 balls to go from Jandu Hamoud. Well bowled, but that's going to be a wide. For a moment there, just thought maybe it would have flicked his pads. Well kept by the keeper. Still got 2 deliveries to go. And a full toss. And is this full toss going to get him another wicket? And it has. Oh, you've got to like 2 really good catches, but 2 full tosses for those wickets. And it's interesting how Jandu Hamoud, who's bowled some pretty decent deliveries, has been dispatched, but when he's bowled 2 full tosses, he's taken 2 Qatari wickets. And another good catch there. Down a deep mid wicket, he had to run back over his head and held that really, really well. So that's put Qatar on the back foot again at 44 for 2 in this chase. While the run rate's pretty decent of just 3 overs, the 2 early wickets has probably just put a bit of a dampen on the chase. Still, they've got a long batting lineup, guys who really swing from the hips, so anything is possible. So that brings Mohammad Tanveer into bat next for Qatar. He'll join Imam ul Haq in the middle. Qatar 44 for 2 of 2.5 overs, beg your pardon. And last ball, 2 full tosses. Taken wickets for Kuwait. And it's another full toss. This time it's cleared over. Short fine leg goes for 4, but you would think that if the fine leg was back on the boundary, that would have been another wicket of full toss. It's looking for a no ball sign, no ball signaled, and that's the over. 48 for 2, off 3, beg your pardon. And is now left to Inamul Haq, you think, to try and settle down this Qatari innings, and they've had a good start in scoring 48 of 3 overs. Still 3 overs of power play to go. You would think they will like to hit the 60-65 mark, just to take a good chunk of the runs in the power play when the batting conditions suit the batter, with the only allowing 2 fielders out the 30-yard and taking advantage of the ball when it's still new and hard. So another change of bowling for Kuwait. We've already used 3 bowlers in just the first 3 overs. Well played. A bit too straight, but safe shot. Down to fine leg just for the single. And that's Mohammad Ahsan has come on for his first over of this match. 1 off the first ball. Inamul Haq on strike. You'd feel that, knowing the style of play that Inamul Haq possesses, he'll probably try and work this into gap. And if this was anywhere in his range, he's probably going to look to dispatch it. That's ball rising very sharply. I wouldn't say sharply, but probably just a bit of a slower bounce. Very early in his pull shot, just hits it to deep mid wicket for a single, and brings Tanvir back on strike. And that brings up the 50 for Qatar for loss of 2. Bowled, and good start to Ahsan's over. Worked away to deep mid wicket just for another single. And Kuwait will probably need this just to calm the nerves a bit, because as much as there's 198 on the board, Qatar have done a sterling job of bringing the score to 50 of just 3 overs, although losing 2 wickets probably not in their favour. Well bowled again, just really good areas, simple, a good length, all 3 balls apart from the shorter one, but 3 balls prior. It's very well bowled. Just has enough of pace, and maybe just not enough pace in trying to work the ball away. That is a fantastic shot. Short ball outside off stump, dispatched by the ever reliable Inamul Haq. Square cut over the top, 4 runs. And sometimes it's just about keeping things simple, not trying to overdo things. And Ahsan was bowling well at that point, just by keeping it on a good length, outside off, and comes back, and that's an inside edge, and that's probably going to make its way for 4. No, it hasn't. It's been fielded there by Ilyas, and that's the over. 56 for 2. Run rate slowed down a bit, but probably a much better over, bowled by Mohammad Ahsan as compared to the rest of his fellow bowlers. So Jandu Hamoud back into bowl, and it's not, sorry, beg your pardon, Ilyas has come back on after his first over conceding 19. Probably captain feeling that he needs to use his left arm bowler earlier rather than later, so bowling to Inamul Haq. Another inside edge, and that's gone for 4. Fortune favours the brave, and that's Kashif, captain for Kuwait, must be pulling his hair out, because even the good deliveries now are going for boundaries, and they've already hit the 60 mark. And as I mentioned before, taking a big chunk of this imposing target in the power play can only be a good thing for Qatar, and they've done a really good job in having 60 on the board already. That's a great shot. Shows the quality of Inamul Haq there. Just a lofted cover drive over the 30-yard, and off a ball that you wouldn't say was pitched in a very bad area. So Ilyas has been quite unfortunate in that he's been now being dispatched to the boundary of some pretty decent deliveries, but that's the name of the game. And Inamul Haq, calm and composed as always, a good sense of assuredness, tends to know his game, knows what his strengths are, and that's just what's needed at this level. Somebody very experienced campaigner, and let's see how he structures his chase. That's short and wide, cut and well fielded there by Point. That's funny how Ilyas's first 2 balls were really good, found its way to the boundary, while the ball that wasn't that flash didn't go for a boundary. So what's Ilyas going to do now? What's a good area to bowl to Inamul Haq? That's better for him. Just prodded through to cover. Not much foot movement there from Inamul Haq. I don't think that will bother him too much. These Qatari batsmen can just look over to the scoreboard and feel that having 64 runs on the board at this point, it's just a very encouraging sign. And inside edge again, and this time stopped by the keeper. A shrew smile on his face. It's hard to get a sense of what Kuwait are sensing or feeling about this so far. They might feel a bit of grief that there have been a few lucky shots that found their way to boundaries, but having said that, they've not bowled the best as well, and Qatar have done really well to put away the deliveries that didn't find the mark. Trying to pull that, not a bottom edge, I'd say, and Ilyas is done. So not as free scoring as the last 4 overs. Takes Qatar to 64 for 2. Last over of power play coming up, and if you want to get into the heads of the Qatari batsmen, you'd feel that they will be talking about maybe trying to maximize this over, depending on who's coming on to bowl. Will be Hassan again. If they could get about 15 runs off this over, you would think that Qatar now would have turned the tables and in this chase, and with the batting they have in hand. bowled. Just punch into the point region. Well fielded. Back in. Kuwait need a lift. They need to understand that this over is really, really crucial. Need to keep things quiet. Then be allowed to use the field after the power play to try and stem the flow of runs. Again, a bit too straight. And that's 4 runs. Bit too straight, down leg. Very, very strong of that in that region, Tanveer. And has made him pay. So Tanveer, who's been really rather quiet, have only faced four balls, but he's already on 6 runs. Been given a bit of a gift by Mohammad Hassan. Discipline's key here, and Hassan's got to understand that this over of his is probably what's going to determine Qatar's chase. If they can keep this quiet and try and keep this under 80 at this point. Well bowled, much better. Bowling to the field, and that's what it's all about, just keeping it simple. As much as Qatar's lost 2 wickets, that's a very big score on the board in the 6th over, and saying that's taken out a big chunk of this chase. That's gone off to deep mid wicket just for the 1. And 69 for 2. 3 balls to go. Mohammad Hassan, 1.4 overs, 13 runs conceded. Short, and that's well played, but it finds the fine leg who's come around to field that pretty well. Again, Hassan, this with his tendency to want to bowl that shorter ball when he's better off just keeping it up to the bat where he has so far on a good length, and probably grateful that Inam didn't get hold of that. It's a slower ball, well bowled, really well bowled, and probably an area of the game that Inamul Haq no longer possesses in the quick single, the veteran for Qatar cricket. So very safe in saying that he would have turned down that single even before it was played. 6 overs, 70 for 2, 128 runs required. And you think Qatar are in the better position now, and very happy with how things have started. Jamal, what do you think?
Well, it's turning out to be an excellent game of cricket. Tanveer and the dangerous Inamul Haq still in for Qatar. Wonderful start given, fooled by some jet fuel by Faisal Javid. 24 of 8 balls, 2 towering sixes, 3 boundaries. I think this partnership will hold the key for Qatar. Kuwait, on the other hand, will be looking to strike a few quick blows. Very close first up. Amanullah. The double O there, sending one wide. Flighted it. Namul unable to drill it. Direct hit, almost could have ricocheted easily off for a single, but none added to the total. One seems to be sliding down the leg side. Two umpires, Buddhi Pradhan, Viswanathan Kalidas, two very experienced men adjudicating this match. The match referee, Mr. Manu Nair. Namul Haq drills it down to long off for a single. This is going to be a good contest.
A full toss again. Full tosses have worked really well for Jandu Hamoud in his first over because both full tosses took a wicket. This time he's just been dispatched for a 4.
I think the law of averages caught up with him.
Yes.
You bowl left arm over the wicket meat pies, you will get hit sooner or later.
Yes, and Qatar will feel really, really good about themselves and having taken off such a big chunk of the chase in the power play. Although they've lost 2 wickets, but you do feel that at this point the pressure has been transferred on to Kuwait.
The end of 7 overs. Qatar 76 for the loss of 2. On track, you would say.
And more importantly, somebody like Inamul Haq in there in the middle just gives, he almost doesn't seem flustered. Just so calm and collected, very assured, knows his game. That's just years of experience and being a former first-class cricketer as well. And you can see he's so composed, and that sort of helps the demeanor of his partner out there as well. And he probably has standing instructions on what the partner has to do.
He's making use of all that experience. I'm sure he's been in this situation many a times. Been very impressed the way he's been bowling in the power plays and also with his batting, controlling the innings. The only one aspect which leaves a chink in the armour is the running between the wickets.
Yes. Well, having said that, he is getting on the years. Must have been a lot fitter in his day, I would suppose. But and that's what's so great about a player like Inamul Haq. He knows what his strengths are, and he utilizes them to about almost 120%, and that makes up for the failings of other parts of his game. Looks like a new bowler in for Kuwait. And that will be Aslam coming in for his first over.
On the money straight away. Mohammad Aslam, number 17, left arm orthodox from the Serangoon Road end. Tell you what, the wicket's played beautifully.
Yes, it has. It's probably nullified a lot the left arm spinner's capabilities as well. Although having said that, I don't think Hamoud did himself any justice bowling full tosses, but with that newer ball on this wicket, you don't think the left arm spinner is going to get as much turn off the wicket or much grip. So it's better off just angling it in as much as you can, which he probably is doing there right now.
That's the whole poetic beauty about this game of cricket. Perhaps his worst 2 deliveries gave him the best 2 results.
Yes, it was, and it got rid of the very dangerous Faisal, who just launched into his innings and got Qatar off to the best of starts. You would think that if he was still there, he'd still be hitting them all over the park.
Tanveer and Inamul Haq content rotating the singles, ensuring that they consolidate and further build on this wonderful start the openers have given them. Yes, Faisal seemed to have had a few Red Bulls. He was on wings this morning.
Yes, he was ruthless.
Namul Haq trying to guide it down to short third man. Aslam bowling to a short third man, backward point, cover, sweeper cover, and a long off on the offside. Looks to guide that one down the leg side.
Don't think he's going to get much joy with his LBW appeals because I think his line is very straight down and probably pitching on leg.
At the end of 8 overs, Qatar 78 for the loss of 2. Command center here. Beehive of activity, journalists, media personnel. The crowd slowly building up as we approach lunch. The beautiful Friday afternoon here in Singapore. It's been sunny and bright. And the cricket has been absolutely trailblazing.
Where do you think Qatar have to be at the 10 over mark to make this chase? As much as it feels that Qatar in control, there is still a bit of scoreboard pressure.
I think they'll just look to continue, and these two batsmen, they'll look to be there deep into the innings around the 15th over mark, and that would enable Qatar, I feel, to chase this total down because there's no demons in the wicket. And Kuwait, on the other hand, to feel comfortable, they'll need to keep picking wickets at a regular interval.
Yes, I do feel at this point, you look at the field and you think that possibly half the Kuwaiti fielders out there feel that they're not in that bad a situation, but probably the other half that are feeling a bit nervous.
There's a wide signal there by Akali. Once again, punted to deep backward square leg.
This is actually turning out to be a pretty decent over by the young Hamoud.
I love his selection of numbers. 0. Seems to be one. He's not too bothered with such things.
That's probably hoping for the number of runs that he'll be conceding, 0. But
absolutely.
Not really the case.
Looks like Meet Bavsar there, doing patrolling duties at deep backward square leg. Possesses a good arm, sends in a flat return.
Do you feel that if Tanvir kept his shape, he'd probably be hitting those balls a lot better? Strong guy. And that's a good shot. But with the field back,
drilled down to long off. Yes, I think you should back yourself to hit straight, given the dimensions of this field. Short, straight boundaries. These Qatari batsmen are absolutely power-packed.
It's well bowled. He's bowled a really good over.
That's a good bit of fielding off his own bowling. Bowlers hate conceding runs off their own bowling. I'm yet to meet a charitable bowler. Adnan Idris fielding at long on, played a beautiful hand, scored a half century. It's again forced off the back foot.
That's a no ball. It's overstepping, and that's after all the hard work of bowling a really good over. He's overstepped, no ball, and you don't want to be giving a free hit to these Qatari batsmen. So Kali, that's the umpire showing where it gone over the mark.
Hamoud Amanullah committing the crime, overstepping as a slow bowler. It's unacceptable.
Takes the shine off of what could have been a very good over. Just kept it to singles, and now he's got to concede a no ball and a free hit.
Field changes as the batsman crossed during that. Now Inamul Haq on strike for the free hit. He's launched it straight to long on, and they didn't bother taking a single.
Yeah, which I've got to say that was pretty ordinary. They should have at least taken a single because every run's going to matter.
Yeah, I mean, Inamul Haq's an experienced cricketer, but I'm sorry to say his running between the wickets is just rubbish.
Yes, that's not the best. And
in a T20 international, every run matters, is gold dust, and you cannot be casual about your approach.
Exactly. Even if free hit doesn't find the boundary, at least you know that you can get a single somewhere. Everyone's on the defensive trying to stop the runs, and if they were to lose by 1 run today, they should look back on that one moment.
If Qatar loses by 1 run today, Inamul Haq would be facing the firing squad.
Yes, pretty sure he would be.
They will shoot him with blanks, so it wouldn't kill him, but it would hurt.
that was poor. I mean, not something that you want to see too much happen in T20 cricket, because this is a big score that they're trying to chase down. You can understand if it was just 120 like they did against Nepal, they can be selective in their running.
Well, Kuwait and Qatar seem to have decided to have a little refueling session in between the match.
Don't think the umpires are too pleased about that. I don't think they were expecting this.
Well, it seemed to be a coordinated distribution of drinks.
Yes.
I think they're facing a different heat down here in Singapore.
Yeah.
It's very humid. The boys from the Middle East, they're used to a much drier heat. Umpire Kalidas letting them know this is not on. Punted to long off for a single. Mohammad Aslam continuing to bowl a very good line and length here.
It just looks like both the left arm spinners have found their stride, because full tosses have disappeared, although they did work in taking wickets, but he's bowling a really good pace, spearing it into, and that might be a catch. Nope.
Just a single.
And he's bowled really well. I think he's kept both these very able batsmen quiet, spearing into the pads. Minimal turn, but left armer's angle always difficult to face up to.
Yes, Kuwait wouldn't mind the singles at this moment. That looked pretty close. Buddhi Pradhan, the best position to judge. So he's not out.
Probably pitching leg, and with the lack of turn, maybe even going down, continuing to go around leg.
Yes, Mohammad Aslam bowls from wide of the crease, creates a big angle. Seems to be going down the leg side more often than not. Good decision.
Smart bowling too, because that's where it's hardest to put away if you get it right. There you go.
Looks much closer, and he's given him. That's the end of Tanvir. Runner ball 16. Aslam making the adjustment in line this time. Tanvir going right across it. Pays the price. This time the umpire Buddhi Pradhan has no doubt about it. That was hitting middle stump halfway up.
I put that down to the over before as well, where they kept things quiet, and all of a sudden the Qataris, who like to have a bit of a swing, probably felt the need to try and look for a shot, manufacture a shot.
I'll tell you what, I met a few Nepali supporters at the hotel, and there's a lot of people south of the Everest cheering Kuwait on here.
Yes, after the antics of the first day, where nobody expected Qatar to beat Nepal or beat them as that easily.
Says Awiz Malik, but it looks like Tamur Sajad, if I'm not mistaken, who has walked out, the skipper, to join Inamul Haq. Number 7 is the skipper, Tamur Sajad. Wonderful player. I think Qatar has the ideal pair in the middle at the moment for this situation. See how they react. It's beautiful bowling here by Aslam, keeping it tight.
And a rare defensive shot. Don't see that too much in this form of the game.
There you see the Manhattans. Qatar really getting off to a blazing start, and now being masterfully pulled back by Kuwait. The loss of those 3 wickets. Tell you, this match will go right down to the wire. Inamul Haq And Tamoor Sajjad do hold the key for Qatar. Kuwait would be looking ideally to see the back of one of these two gentlemen, and preferably both.
So it's Shiraz Khan, new bowler in. Off spin and it's put down towards deep cover, fielded well, back in for just a single. Shiraz Khan took a fantastic catch today to dismiss Faisal, who was in a very destructive mood. I think Kuwait can thank him taking that half chance and ensuring that Faisal didn't stick around, because you do feel that the way Faisal was going.
That's a magnificent delivery. Beats the Qatari skipper. Slightly faster. Tipped on him. Beat him all ends up. Is at the halfway mark. Qatar 88 in this chase. Punch down to long off for a single. The required run rate going up to 8.51. Quite manageable on this ground. Qatar requiring a further 109 runs with 7 wickets in hand from 57 deliveries.
You do see a bit of a spring in the step with the Kuwaitis as well. I think after the start of the power play,
yes,
it looked a bit flat when Qatar got away to that blazing start. And now, in having taken 3 wickets, taken 3rd wicket, sorry, in the last over, it just looks like Kuwait just have a bit more belief.
That looks pretty close.
Ooh.
Umpire Kali thinks otherwise.
Yeah, probably a bit too high.
A bit too high, yes.
And also probably spinning enough to go down leg.
Yes, Qatar maintaining a run rate of 8.5 at the moment. They'll need to step on it. That's the gap between runs required and balls.
That is a very, very crucial wicket. And Shiraz coming on is probably has played a part in getting rid of 2 of Qatar's most dangerous players. First in taking that diving catch in cover, and now removing Inamul Haq, who you feel was the key to this chase with his composed demeanor. But now this just turns the tables back in Kuwait's favor, and you can see now that Kuwait also feel that collectively that they're back in it.
Tell you what, this ICC World T20 Qualifiers Asia Final has provided some absolutely breathtaking cricket. All teams fighting tooth and nail. They know the importance of every match, as only one team will proceed from here onwards to the UAE, to the global qualifiers. And if Kuwait wins today, once again, throws the table wide open.
Yes, and Qatar dealt a major, major blow. Don't think Tanveer would have wanted to see his partner out in the middle leaving the way he did. Very uncharacteristic hoik of the bat by Inamul Haq. You do feel that maybe an error of judgment, because he had his captain out there and you have your most experienced batsman just to take it to the 15th over and keep wickets in hand, and they have enough batting in the ranks to clear shorter boundaries straight. So maybe not doing himself any favors and putting Qatar under more pressure, and that scoreboard pressure now is starting to tell.
Yes, it's still 107 runs being required. Tamoor Sajjad will have to play out of his skins to pull this one back to get Qatar over the line. It's very capable of doing that. At the end of 11 overs, Qatar 91 for the loss of 4 wickets. Stop edge this one. Drop short of the fielder, who makes almost a meal out of it.
Yes, always be careful of the spin. It's made so many fielders look silly over the years. The spin off the outfield after landing.
Aslam's been doing a wonderful job for Kuwait and his skipper. That's a very good bit of fielding of his own bowling. Excellent commitment shown here by the Kuwaitis.
He's been their best bowler by far since he's come on. He's kept things quiet, whereas the rest of the bowlers took a bit of tap.
As he's into his third over, has only conceded 5. Picked up a crucial wicket.
Considering that there's 92 runs on the board and he's only conceded 5, that says a lot.
Mohammad Rizlan, the wicket keeper, out there batting with his captain. This Qatar's got to be intelligent. They just need to take this chase.
Fielded there by Hassan, taking Qatar to 95.
Hassan Nasser there with a bit of deft footwork that made Ronaldo proud.
Yes.
It's a long way down for the big man.
Yep, the good old big boot, they call it. So
got the size 14s down on it.
Yep, it's big enough, why not? As long as you're not stepping on the ball. Well played, dabbed off to point. Well fielded, good arm. Shiraz has looked very active in the field. And that's probably been the difference between the two sides. Qatari probably more of an aging side, and well, the Kuwaitis possess some younger cricketers. Oh,
acrobatic attempt, can't prevent the single. Yes, Shiraz been an absolute live wire at backward point. Yes, Qatar, they'll be feeling the heat from many different sides. At the end of the 12th over, Qatar 96 for the loss of 4. 103 more runs required.
I think credit should be given to Aslam here. He's bowled 3 overs for just 7 runs in the scoreboard that's reflecting 96 for 4 after 12 overs. That is just quite sensational, and I think you would say that that's the area of his bowling that's pulled Kuwait back into this game after such a blazing start by Qatar.
Yes, sometimes all the run making and wicket taking gets noticed, and the run restrictions hardly get a mention.
Exactly. In this form of the game, it's you would feel that every 2 overs of maidens is as good as taking a wicket. So
Mohammad Kashif once again the captain for Kuwait. Brilliant 43 off 20. Shiraz coming into bowl from the Balestier Road end. He's got the golden arm today. Let's see whether he can pick one more up. Beats the batsman outside off stump.
yeah, we think at this point the Qatari batsman looking at the scoreboard and thinking, you know what, there's still a lot to do. You might see rasher shots, although that's been hit down to
Deep extra cover
we would say, yep, long off, sorry.
for a single. Kuwait wouldn't mind these singles. The pressure's certainly on Qatar to make the play.
He's launched that. That is gone.
That is a huge hit. Taimur Sajjad depositing Shiraz over the pavilion. That one's got frequent flyer miles on it. That's gone a long way.
Yep, that's gone. It's got the ground staff scrambling to look for that one. It's gone over the clubhouse.
Tabarak Da, the extra umpire today, gentleman from Hong Kong, bringing out the spare balls. Gonna need a few of them if Sajjad keeps continuing in this frame of mind. This is exactly what Qatar requires at the moment as well. They need to get a move on here. But it's a tricky situation, Arju. They can't afford to lose much more wickets.
Nope, they can't, and they need to step on the gas. They need some big hitting now, just more like what just happened then. And credit to the ground staff as well. They found and retrieved most of the balls that made their way out this very small ground. So
our facilities manager, together with his troop of trusty men, doing a great job. Put on a wonderful square and a wonderful outfield for this cricket action to take on.
Nice and flat. Well fielded there by Aslam. In for the single, that's it. Safe.
Right, over to the wicket keeper. Mohammad Rizlan. Can he do something more? He can.
And that's gone again. Same area.
Magnificent shot. Hung back, read the drift, deposited it in the pavilion.
Yeah, you would think that that was in the arc for him, and he's played that really well. Just played through the line, stayed balanced, and this short straight boundaries. You would think that even on a bigger ground, they'll probably found its way beyond the boundary, and that is just given Qatar's innings a bit of life. 111 for 4.
The end of 13 overs. A good friend, senior umpire Sarika Prasad, coming in to say hi. It's always nice to see him. Well, what a match this is turning out to be. Qatar refusing to go away. Kuwait looking to close it out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuned in, don't go anywhere. This one's going to go down to the wire.
It's very, very crucial over now. And Aslam has bowled, only conceded 9 runs of his 3 overs. If he can do the same this time, you would think that he would just bring Kuwait back into it. And a single off the first ball.
I think smart batting as well. I think one of the 2 batsmen, they would decide to take a few chances. They can't afford overs to just drift by. Kuwait, on the other hand, wouldn't mind these singles at all.
It's well bowled, really well bowled. Just you could say a harmless single. To long off.
Tamoor Sajaj having a look at the deep mid-wicket boundary. Might be planning to go straight. Misses an opportunity. A full toss down the leg side. Only manages a single to short fine leg. Be a bit disappointed.
That he would be very disappointed. That should have found its way to the boundary. Not the best of balls. Probably the worst ball that Aslam's bowled all day. Well bowled again.
This is an excellent over. Mohammad Aslam really showing how it's done.
What he's done really well is he's changed the pace up, and he looks for these angles coming wide and coming close to the stumps. Not relying too much on turn.
Once again, just another single. And if you also see his release points, he looks like he's undercutting the ball, and that doesn't really allow the batsman to get underneath it. It skids on off the surface. If any youngsters watching, this is excellent left arm orthodox bowling.
Just someone who knows where his fielders are and doesn't try too much. Just using his angles, like you said, using his point of release, and that's all he's done. And he's bowled his 4 overs for just 13 runs for 1 wicket. He's done a great job here for Kuwait.
It's very impressive, and good bit of running between the wickets. Finally, from Qatar, putting the pressure on, running the first one hard. That did extract the mistake from the Kuwaiti fielder. At the end of 14 overs, Qatar 117 for the loss of 4. Arju, this is going to be a really exciting game. 36 deliveries, 81 runs required. In the modern T20 game, anything's possible.
Yes, true. You do, however, feel that they need a plan of action now, and it's about taking on. They need two heavy scoring overs. It's about the captain, who's out there in the middle with Rizlan, trying to pick out which bowler to go after. Aslam is done with his overs, so he's out the way, and they don't have to be too concerned about him anymore.
Yes, my trusty calculator on the mobile says they require 13.5 and over.
Right. That is still quite a daunting task.
It is.
Skipper Kashif come back on for his off spinners, and he might just pick up a wicket here.
Hopefully there's no collision. Ball safely drops between the two fielders.
Yes.
Kashif should have let the fielder coming in off the long off boundary go for it. But anyway, falls safely. 1 run to the total.
I don't think he'll bother Kashif too much. At least that's not gone for a boundary. And the Qataris will need to start sending a few out the park at this point.
Once again, full toss, only managing a single.
And Kuwait will have that all day long.
Yep. You're not going to get 13.5 and over scoring singles.
True.
Once again, single down to long on.
No damage done. Kashif coming around the wicket, spearing it into the pads, not giving them too much room to free the arms. So
it's got good protection on the boundary.
Yep. He's played that
Deep.
well off his feet, but that you would think would only be one. Oh, a bit of a fumble, but recovers in time.
This is where really Qatar needs to get their running between the wickets and the urgency on. They're only barely jogging the singles. They really need to get a push on. It's a well fortified leg side field, long on, deep mid wicket, deep backward square leg, and a cow corner. This is excellent bowling by Kashif. Intelligent cricket. Well, that was a full toss once again.
Let's spear in nice and sharp into the pads. Just doesn't allow too much for freedom of shot. And even if they do get hold of one, it's a very protected area. So yes, very, very smart. Whether he's doing it intentionally though. There you go. Again, into the protected area. Just a single.
It's a very
no
good
harm
over.
done. And Kashif has finished off his over there. Done very well. He's taken the pressure off the Kuwaiti team at this point at 15 overs. With 5 overs left, that run rate is a mountain now.
Yes, I think Qatar only got themselves to blame, having received a wonderful start by the openers. They seem to have lost the momentum in the middle, especially with their lackadaisical running between the wickets, their inability to put some of the loose balls to the boundary. Now I feel they have left quite a bit of work to be done in this last 5 overs. I know it's not over till the fat lady sings, but I can hear her clearing the throat now.
Yes, the old saying, but I like what you added on there at the end. But yeah, well, look, it's the modern game, T20. It's not about just hitting and hoping. There are so many aspects to the game that add to the value of a T20 cricketer. And running between the wickets is definitely one of them. You just need to be pushing that first one hard. As much as this is a small ground, you do feel that if you hit it to areas to mid-wicket or cover deep, there is a chance of taking a second run because it is long enough to do that. But you can't just hope. Can't just hope for everything to go over the boundary and just take your singles.
That's a magnificent shot off the back foot. Tamur Sajjad piercing the gap between deep extra cover and sweeper. That ball was begging to be punished. Tamur did exactly the same. Wonderful shot. Can this be the big over that Qatar was looking for? On this occasion, hits it down to deep extra cover. Well positioned fielder. Shiraz Khan coming from the Serangoon Road end. This has gone miles in the air. Takes the wicket. Kuwait's pumped up. It's gone the wicket, the crucial wicket. That might just be it for Qatar. Kuwait certainly hammering the nails in now. That ball went miles in the air. That was a very good catch. Had a long off, made it look easy. Kuwait, should they win by a massive margin, that would also boost their net run rate. And once again, this tournament be wide open. Singapore leading the points table at the moment with 3 points after 2 matches, winning 1 and 1 abandoned game. Malaysia placed second, playing 2 matches, winning 1, losing 1 with 2 points. And Nepal, having played 2 matches with 1 win and 1 loss, also has 2 points. Qatar, 2 matches, 1 win, 1 loss, 2 points. Kuwait, 2 matches, 1 loss, 1 no result. And they look like they're on their way to a victory here. This is excellent bowling. And right after this, the 2 o'clock game between host Singapore and Malaysia. Be another crucial one. Today being a Friday, expect a lot of people to come in and watch that. That's a wide. Shiraz will not be happy about that. But the Qatar captain out there, Taimur Sajjad, doesn't give up till the end. Turns it around, smashes it to deep backward square leg. Unfortunately for Qatar, the singles will not have the desired impact. Kuwait now slowly but surely applying the rear naked choke on Qatar. It's an excellent bit of bowling. That's the end of the 16th over. Qatar 130 for the loss of 5. There you can see the worms. Qatar falling below Kuwait there. It will be a steep climb from here if they are to surmount this required run rate. Kuwait looks well and truly in control. The Manhattans firmly showing Kuwait in control. That middle period from around the 7th over till the 13th, costing Qatar dearly. Losing regular wickets and unable to get a move on with the required run rate. Kuwait, on the other hand, they'll be very pleased with the way they have come out and played with intent today. Batted exceptionally well and backed it up with some brilliant fielding and bowling. Hassan once again hitting the deck hard, bowling to his field. Sankar Vardappan there, deep mid wicket, does the fielding. These singles are not going to disturb Kuwait at all. Tamu 25 off 21. Noman yet to get off the mark. Hassan Nasir, experienced campaigner, running in from the Balestier Road end. It's well fielded down there, deep extra cover. It's another dot ball. Aju, welcome back.
Yeah, look, I do feel that at this point you could safely say that if Qatar were to win it from here, it would take a sensational effort. Kuwait has probably gone through the worst part of this game and survived with that great start and weathered the storm.
If Qatar wins it from here, my neighbor will eat her grandma's swig.
Well, you know what? You might have just spoken too soon.
I said my neighbor.
Yes, I like how neighbor was emphasized.
Underscored that it was my neighbor. It's a magnificent shot.
That is
drilled over long off.
Stand and deliver. Baseball like.
Tamu Sajad. He's in no mood to hang around. It's deposited. Asan. Well over long off.
Blatant disregard for the bowler and what you said.
My neighbor might be starting to look for that wig.
Oh God.
Been some entertaining cricket, absolutely, from ball one.
Yeah, he's in the mood now. Well, there's nothing else he can do really. All he has to do now is just launch and hope. And that was a good start in where that ball ended up. So you would see he'll probably need to hit about 4 or 5 more of those to make it even close.
And I tell you, the best way to get your mind free and relax is just to go for it right now. And then anything could happen.
Well, it's come to the point of game where if you tried and got out, nobody's going to really give you any grief when you get back to the dugout, because that's all that's needed.
And there's no glory in coming not out.
True.
Hassan Nasir, the wheels almost came off the truck at that point.
Yep.
Bowling a wide. I think he's feeling the heat a little bit.
Yeah, just doesn't want to put it into that zone with the straight boundaries being so short. But he could probably afford to at this point, just to go for the whole concept of if you miss, I hit, just bowling a bit straighter. That's a great shot. That's dispatched with ease. Very, very good shot. Down to cover.
Hassan Nasir, he'll be glad this over is finished. Qatar 144 for the loss of 5 wickets at the end of the 17th over. 18 balls remaining, 58 runs. I tell you what, I still feel this is going to be a very close game if the Qataris manage to hit a few big ones in this over.
I guess it's all about who comes on to bowl at this point.
Looks like the paceman coming in. This might even help Qatar's cause. Few educated edges. They'll be hoping for everything.
Yeah, I mean, look, Qatar can rest in knowledge that the left-arm spinners have probably bowled out. So, and the best of them in Aslan would bowl really well. So Shiraz Khan looks like he's got one more left, and that must be him coming on right now.
Yes, Shiraz Khan's got one left. Mohammed Ashan's got one left. Janu Damood's got one left. Kashif himself, the skipper's got 2. And Ahmed's got 2. Well, Kuwait seem to be confident bowling their spinners. And why not? They've done the job.
Yes, and picture us the ball is last over from the right end, because that is the longer boundary, and being what looks like off spin, leggy or leg spin. Sorry about that. It was confusing Kashif for Shiraz. That long boundary there takes a bit of hitting,
especially against the stern.
Exactly.
Slight misfield there, allowing the batsman to scamper through for a single. Kuwait wouldn't mind that. Qatar need more than singles.
Not hurting Kuwait at all at this stage. It looks like the left arm paceman, and that is gone miles in the air. Take a bit of catching, running in. Oh, great attempt. Great attempt. That would have been more for show than anything else, because at the end of the day, still only one run. Drop catch, I don't think Kuwait would be too bothered, because that he covered a lot of ground trying to get in, try and take that.
Hamad Damanullah really showing the intent and the commitment. That's sort of been the mindset with which Kuwait has played today. That's enabled them to get into this strong position. Wonderful to see. It's good for this tournament as well.
They've just actually not a bad setup. Kuwait, good side. Looks like batting is their key strength, and that's a very well played shot.
It's a high quality shot there by the skipper.
Switch hit, and he's hit that, and that was probably a risk worth taking, and he's paid dividends. Gone for 4 in good time. Hit it with the spin.
Shiraz Khan trying to keep the ball outside off. Taimur Sajjad only manages a single. That'll be the end of the 18th over. Qatar 153 for the loss of 5 wickets.
Just looking at this chase as well, it just shows that at this ground 170 is not a safe score at all. So
the other day we were always thinking 180, 185 was the pass score on the track, and the lightning quick outfield, the short straight boundaries.
Let's take away those 18 additional runs here in Kuwait's target, and this would have been a very doable chase for Qatar.
Right now 45 runs required off 12 balls. Looks like my neighbor's wig's gonna be safe, Arju.
Yeah, I think don't want to think what a wig would taste like, but I can't imagine it'll taste too nice. Ilyas, the left arm paceman who opened the bowling, took a bit of tap in his first over, went for 19 runs in his first over, and now with the big asking rate, probably not a bad time to see how he goes.
Yes, Ilyas Ahmed, left arm around.
That's not a good start for Ilyas. That's 4.
Drifting down the legs. Taimur Sajjad helping it on its way. Pass deep backward square for 4.
You do wonder, however, if Kashif has just got this a bit wrong here, because not a good time to introduce a paceman who's not actually found his stride today. So if this over goes for plenty, you might just see that wig coming back into contention again. So just a 1.
Just a 1. Yeah, look, Ilyas has got to get this right.
It's just things like that doesn't help.
Yeah.
You know, balls return back nice and fast, and then you're letting go through your legs.
And the batsman at the striker's end, he was minding to his gloves. Captain Taimur not impressed with that. He would have been looking to get on strike.
That's 4 again.
Gun barrel straight, drilled it back pass. Ilyas Ahmed getting the treatment here today. It's not been his day for the fast bowler.
see a lot of the fielders gesticulating to Ilyas as to where to bowl it. Probably bowling a bit too straight, being a left armer with that pace. The bottom hands come into effect for the Qataris.
Yes, Adnan Idris very animated at long on.
There you go again, but should be safe. And it's gone for 4. You know what? Might want to ask the neighbor to take that wig out of the closet and keep it on the table.
Ilyas Ahmed has got the teapot on, hands on hips. The very animated Adnan Idris chooses to support his bowler nonetheless. Well, this is still not over, isn't it?
No, it isn't. But you have to question that whether skipper Kashif has done the right thing here. So why get a team like Qatar back into contention?
Yes, that's what, as we were discussing before, if you do bring the pace, that's really helping Qatar out. The spinners have been doing a wonderful job. Well, I think he should be bowling wicket to wicket, not dishing out those bowling machine deliveries.
Doesn't have too much pace to bother the batsman, so you need to be very particular in where you when you hit your areas. And that's probably good in that he's got the batsman having to reach and play a more honest shot. So that's just safely down to deep cover for single, and that's over. And I think Ilyas will be happy that he's only had an onslaught of 3 4s.
Qatar 167 for the loss of 5 at the end of 19. Well, we're about to start the last over of the day.
31 runs required, is that right?
Yes, 32 to win.
32 to win, sorry.
Qatar requires. That's what Crick Info says. I believe it's 31, Arju.
Yeah,
You might have got it right.
Yeah. So Ilyas Ahmed's gone for 41 runs in his 3 overs. That's probably criminal in in T20 or in any form, really. So
I would have asked him to buy my neighbor a new wig.
yes, yeah, I'm sure the neighbor's just now very happily put that wig back in the closet.
Looks like Hassan. Nasser to bowl the last over from the Serangoon Road end. Kuwait team pumped up here. I think we're feeling wonderful to get on the winning board.
Having said that, though, Hassan conceded 28 of his 3, so don't know. Let's see.
Need all his experience here.
It's a funny game. There you go. That's found some legs, and that will go for, let's see, 4.
Yes, this is not very intelligent bowling. I think the heat might have got to him.
Yeah, and he's going to understand that all his short balls have not been very effective. Not this wicket. You need to have a bit of pace about you to...
That's very unlucky. It didn't go all the way. Just fell inches short of the rope there.
True.
Hassan Nasser. I think he's taking a punt on the law of averages.
It's a good shot, and it looks like it's going to make its way for 4.
What a shot
That's
that
4.
was.
He's hit that with really, really good force. Good hands, just through the line. And still, I think a bit too much to do at the end here.
Yes, this is... and also, I think, bringing back the pace bowlers is a very risky call. Good thing that they had 31 runs to defend at the beginning of this over.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it would have been...
Well, he's gone again, and this is going to make its way for 6. Right on the fence, and...
I tell you what...
It is... This game might not be over just yet, so...
Hassan Nasser, he's really dishing out some meat pies. Qatar, they're gleefully accepting the drinks and the treats.
And it is quite shocking, really. I mean, yes, you've been brought on to bowl. You are a pace bowler, but you can be smart in where you know it's a short boundary straight, and to bowl it full in that strike zone with a military medium, really, you're really asking for it. and why leave it to chance? And all of a sudden the Kuwaitis looking a bit flustered. Keeper, you can always tell by the keeper how animated he is. Looking around, talking to Kashif, his captain, probably asking, why do we have to bring the paceman on at this point? Because I think Kashif had a few overs left up his sleeve.
Yeah, Kuwait also needs to slow the game down a little bit here, sort of. They're just going through the motions to close it out.
That's
there
it.
you go. That's a much better result.
Even 3 6s at that point would have done it. So safely say that Qatar's won this. It'll take a lot. Somebody was just mentioning in the room that a wide 4, if it came along, you'll need about 3 wide 4s now. So, and bowled that well, straight back down. And the last ball to be bowled, 15 runs required.
Yes. Hassan Nasser seems to have been playing for a very, very long time for Kuwait.
Yes.
And he looks like he's feeling the heat.
Yeah, I think he's glad that this is going to be the last ball of the day and that his team has won. He's just probably just going to bowl it wherever he wants, and even if it were to go for 6 at this point, don't think he'd be too bothered. It's gone for 44 runs so far.
Might be looking forward for an ice bath.
Yes, definitely. Last ball of the innings. And that is going to be 4.
4 runs.
So Kuwait have won this quite handsomely by 10 runs, or 11 runs, sorry. By 5 wickets, right? And a very good win here for Kuwait, and they get their first points. Not so much points, but they had shared points before, the 1 point against Singapore, but now they've picked up a win and added 2 to that tally. So Qatar, after the jubilation of beating Nepal and looking to be and throwing this race wide open, have lost to their Gulf neighbors, Kuwait, familiar foes I'm sure, and now everybody's got points, and it leaves it to a very interesting 2 days.
The next game is going to be an absolute cracker. Singapore versus Malaysia. Don't go anywhere. We'll join you shortly with the award ceremony. Thank you.